All right. And I know we're still like at the beginning of the year, and all these little things we're working out, the Zoom link, the materials and everything. So it's okay. It'll take a little bit to get in the groove, but you guys are here, and I know she's printing your pages, but you can watch me for this first part, and then when she has it, you can jump in. So go ahead and get, Jason, you can get your grammar book out. It should be Robin Hood. And in the beginning of the book, you'll see there's just like an introduction and then some information, instructions and stuff. And then you'll see a scope and sequence thing and table of contents, go past all that. And then you'll get to this page. And I did not send this page to your mom, Natalia, so you can just watch me on the screen for this one. This is page 1. So Jason, you can find page 1 in your book. And you'll notice at the top right, it'll say week 1. And then on the left, it'll say learn it. And every lesson has a page like this that we talk about in class. And I basically teach you what the skill is. And then we practice it together. So this first part, I'm going to be teaching you, and then we'll practice. So at the top, it says every word belongs to a word group. Sorry, I got distracted there. I don't know why I let him in. Just a second. Oh, he left. Okay. There was a student logging in that's not in this class, but he left. Okay. Every word belongs to a word group and a part of speech. So there are 8 parts of speech in English: noun, pronoun, verb, preposition, conjunction, adjective, adverb, and interjection. Those are the 8, all of them. And so every sentence has these words in them. And so the first one we're going to talk about as far as parts of speech is the noun. And you guys I'm sure you've heard of a noun. You've been looking at them and using them. And it names a person, place, thing, or idea. There's also something called a compound noun, which is 2 words. And usually it's a proper noun, a name. For instance, right here, King Richard. That's a proper noun. It's 2 words technically, but it's called a compound noun. And we mark it as 1 noun. So another one would be like the Mississippi River. So Mississippi River is the name of the river. So both of those are considered the noun. And then we have what's called an article adjective. There's only 3 in the English language. It's a, and, the. Those are called article adjectives. In this book, they're going to refer to them as articles. And a noun follows an article adjective. And then pronoun, that takes the place of a noun. So when you have a sentence and you don't want to keep repeating the same word over and over again, you can use pronouns. If you're talking about a female, you would use he, she, and her or hers. And then if it's a male or a boy, it would be he and him and his, those types of words. And then those are also considered personal pronouns. And they take the place of common and proper nouns. If you have an object, the pronoun is it. So if I'm talking about the computer and I refer back to it later, I use it, because obviously the computer is not male or female. It's an object. It's not alive. All right, memorize it. Oh, sorry, I skipped. Prepositions. You might have heard that one before too. A preposition starts a phrase that shows the relationship between a noun or pronoun and another word in the sentence. So a prepositional phrase always begins with a preposition and ends with a noun or a pronoun. Review the prepositions in Appendix 3. All right, if you have Post-it notes with you today as part of your supplies that I wanted you to have, we're going to use one. So go ahead and get your Post-it notes. They should be this size if you have one. If you don't have one, you can do this later. And so Natalia, you'll probably do this when you get home with your Oh, you said you have your book. You could do this here, actually, if you have it. Okay, notice, I want you to take off one sticky. Just take off, I call them sticky sometimes, but take off one. And then I want you to turn it upside down. I'll tell you why in a second. So really the sticky side is facing up right here. Do you have that, Jason? Okay. On the sticky side, put that toward the bottom. And then at the top, I want you to write the word prepositions. Prepositions like that. So this is the sticky side facing up, because I'll show you why we're doing it this way in a second. And then at the top of that side where it's sticky, write the word prepositions. So what we're doing is tabbing a page that has the list, because you're going to be needing to refer back to this list a lot. And that way you can just remember where it's at. Once you write that down, Jason, I want you both to flip to the very, very, very last page of your grammar book, which is way back here. It's called Appendix 3. That's where this is. Yeah, Jason, go ahead. Do you have a question?
Yeah, so I was a little confused. So the sticky side is supposed to be where you're writing it on, right?
Yes, that is correct for this one. And I'm going to show you why. But
sure.
you got it. Yep, good question. Because this last page, I'm on page 198. It's the last page in your book. And you're going to turn this upside down. So the sticky part is now down, and stick it at the top here. This is why. Because when you close your book or go back to your other page here, you're going to see the word prepositions. Okay. So stick it at the top of that page. When you stick it here, it's going to seem like it's blank, but the writing is on the back side here. That's so that when you're working in your book, boom, there it is. Okay. All right. And you could even write it on this side too. You can write it on both sides if you wanted to. That's okay with me. But now you have that page. All right. So let's go back and look at that last page. This is page 198. And you're going to see this list right here. These are all the prepositions, all of them that you need to know. You don't have to memorize them all, but you need to know where they are in the book, because you might need to go back and refer to those. So you'll see words like aboard, about, above, according to, across, after, this whole list. And it's really nice that they put it in alphabetical order for you, so you can find it easier. All of these words are prepositions, and they always begin a prepositional phrase. Give me a thumbs up if you got that, if you understand what I'm saying. Good. You got it, Natalia? Okay, good. Let's go back to the lesson then. And it says here, this is page 1, back on that page, memorize it. Preposition plus noun, no verb. So a phrase does not have a verb. A clause has a verb. That's the difference between a phrase and a clause. So right here, this prepositional phrase has a preposition plus a noun, but no verb. And the way you're going to mark in this book is like this page, right? Or this sentence right here. I'm going to let in a student. Write N above each noun. Use a single N for compound nouns. Write AR above each article and PR above each pronoun, and then underline each prepositional phrase. Hi, Ian. We're in the grammar book on page 1. Do you have your grammar book with you? Okay. So here's your example sentence. Robin Hood and his men lived in the forest. So we have Robin Hood. Notice they use the little bracket because it's two words to the name Robin Hood, but it's one noun. His is the pronoun. Men is a noun. The is one of the articles. Remember, the articles are a, an, and the. Okay, so you put AR above the, and then forest is a noun. You put in above that. Don't worry if this is a little confusing, because I'll go slow again and teach you step by step as we go.
My grammar book isn't here.
Oh, do you have it yet? Is it in the mail yet?
I think it's in the mail, but I don't have it.
Okay. You can just watch this part of the lesson, but do you have your binder yet?
Yeah.
Okay. So I recorded this class. So when you get your book in the mail, you can do this lesson at home, okay? Hopefully you'll get it this week. I know a lot of books are late this time. I don't know why. Go ahead and turn to page 2. Right here. And we're going to talk about a few more things, and then we're going to do a practice page together. So we're talking about capitalization. There's 3 times you capitalize a word. Do you guys know when that is? Tell me one reason why you would put a capital letter with a word on a
The
word.
beginning of a sentence.
Good. That's one. Beginning of a sentence. When else, Natalia?
The beginning of a name.
A name. Good. And then Jason, do you know the 3rd time? When else do you use a capital?
When you use like I.
Good.
I.
Yes, the pronoun I by itself is always capital. So here's your example sentence. Robin lived in Sherwood Forest. He told his men, I will hunt with you. Notice the 3 little lines right here. This is how you're going to mark it in this book. So they made mistakes in the book on purpose, and they want you to find them. So if you see a word like Robin and you know it's a name, it should be a capital. Put 3 little lines under R. 3 little lines under Sherwood and Forest. That's the name of the forest. 3 little lines under he, because that's the beginning of the sentence. And then I, because anytime I is by itself, it's capital. So you're just going to mark it with 3 little lines. And then, of course, the end mark. You know that. Period, exclamation point, question mark. So the way you fix that is just to write it in there. So here it said, did Robin give up? That's a question. So we put a question mark. He would never quit, exclamation mark. He was used to challenges, period. So that's just showing you in the book, they're going to have mistakes, and you'll have to figure out what goes at the end of each sentence. Okay. And lastly, indentation. That means to indent. And you probably know when you write a paragraph, that first sentence always moves in a little bit from the side. That's indent or indentation. And then when you keep writing, you write along the edge, so it's clear where the paragraph begins. And each paragraph should have an indentation. Here are 4 reasons to start a new paragraph whenever you're writing a story, which we will later. Whenever you have a new speaker in your story, if you have a new character that's talking, that's when you also start a new paragraph. If you have a new topic, if suddenly maybe they were at a party and then a new topic is about, I don't know, let's see, school. Okay, so those are 2 different topics. You would change and do a new paragraph for that. Or a new place. It's kind of the same example if you're at a party and then you go to school. So 2 different places, you start a new paragraph if you introduce a new place or a new time. And the new time could be a new year, a new season, a new time of day. So those are 4 reasons why you start new paragraphs. Does anyone have any questions about what we talked about so far for grammar? If not, you can shake your head no like that. Okay, good. If you do have a question, you can always raise your hand, emoji, or physical hand like that. I'm always looking at the camera so I can see what's going on there. But if there aren't any questions right now, then let's go on to page 3. This is the first page of the week. You'll see up here on the top right, week 1, day 1. We always do that one in class together. This is page 3. And then your homework for this week will be day 2, day 3, and day 4. But we'll talk about that again in a minute. Let's just focus on this page for now. This is page 3. In my grammar book, I always use these plastic sheets so that I can write on them and erase them and it doesn't mess up my teacher book. So sometimes there's a little glare, but just ignore that. Okay. The first step at the top says read it. So does anyone feel like reading the sentence to us today? Feel like reading it? That's okay if you don't. I'll pick on you later. But for now, I can read it for you. It says, in the olden days of England, King Richard reigned over the land. By the way, I forgot to tell you that this story is Robin Hood. You probably saw that on the front of your book. There's lots of versions of that story. We have the Disney version, which is the cartoon, right? We have live action versions, several of them, of Robin Hood, but he's a character who fought the bad guys to protect his city, right? And he was kind of a rebel in his personality because he didn't like following the rules. So this whole book is the story of Robin Hood, and each day you have like 1 or 2 sentences to work with, but it's kind of cool because it builds, like the story grows as you go through each day. So this is just basically the introduction of this story, Robin Hood. Notice that word reigned is in bold, and that means it's your vocabulary word. So every day you'll have a word that's in bold. That's the vocabulary word. Does anyone know what the word reigned means? What is reigned? No, it's not rained like raining outside. That's R-A-I-N. This means to rule as king or queen. If you're the ruler of the land, you reign over the land, or reigned is past tense. Okay, so put a check mark up here by vocabulary, because now you know what that means. So anytime you have a vocabulary word and you don't know what it means, you should look it up or ask a parent to find out what the word means. So now that we know, we can move on to the next step here. At the top, you see where it says market. Under that, you have a little list. And these are the things that you're going to find in your sentence. And I'm going to help you with this one as your first lesson, but this is exactly how you do your homework on the next pages. So the first one says articles, and next to that, just put a note right here, a, an, and the. Don't put and, it's an, an. A, an, the. Go ahead and write that in at the top. And then I just want you to look at the sentence and find 2 of them, and right above it, put AR. Because that's your job in this book, is to label the words. So you have the and the, so you're going to put AR on top of those. It always tells you how many to find too. This says 2. We already found them, so go ahead and put a check mark there. I do want you to always use check marks next to the list so that you can keep track of what you already did. And then you'll know when you're done if they're all checked. Next, we have nouns. So raise your hand if you can find a noun in our sentence. Anybody know where a noun is in there? Look for a noun and tell me if you see a noun.
England.
England, good. So I'm going to put an N above that for noun. Jason, do you see another one?
King Richard.
Good. For this one, you're going to put a little bracket like that and then an N, because it's 2 words, but it's the same. It's a noun. So there's 1, 2. Where else? Ian, do you see a noun in the sentence? A noun is a person, place, thing, or idea.
My microphone wouldn't unmute.
Oh, you got it now? Okay,
Land,
good. Land is one. Anybody want to guess the last one? There's one more. It says there's 4. It's days, actually. Days. That's a noun. So we've got days, England, King Richard, and land. Those are the 4 nouns. So you can put a check mark. By that, we found the 4 nouns. Next is the prepositional phrases. Now, if you already know some of the prepositions, you might already know where they are in the story, in the sentence. Does anyone know where the prepositional phrase is in this sentence? Okay, so I'm going to help you find it. Remember this page, this handy dandy. Did you find one?
is it in the olden days?
Yes. So what you're going to do, good job, Ian, is underline in the olden days. In is a preposition. And what you can do is check back here. Remember this page we marked in the very back? I know if you don't have your book with you, you don't have this page. But in the very back, you'll see the word in right here. And the preposition, this is your list of prepositions. And remember, the phrases, the prepositional phrases always start with a preposition. That's what these words are called. Okay, there's 2 more. So we've got in the days. Do you see any others? You can check that list in the back. I know, Natalia, you don't have yours. Do you see any others, Ian?
No.
So I know, do you see any, Jason? Yet? Any prepositional phrases? In the back of your book, you would see the word of. So of England is a prepositional phrase too. Jason?
I think I saw over also in that list.
Yes, you did. Good. So what would the phrase be?
Over the land.
There you go. Over the land. So remember, a prepositional phrase starts with a preposition. That's when you look at your list. And it ends on a noun. Notice here you have the preposition in. In the olden days, it stopped on a noun. Here you have of, preposition, of England, noun. Here you have over, which is the preposition, over the land, it stops on a noun. So when you're looking for those prepositional phrases, it starts with a preposition and it stops on a noun. Sometimes it's a pronoun, okay? But usually it's a noun. So that's your clue. Awesome. You got those. Put a check mark there. Now, Natalia, there's 4 words that need a capital. Can you tell us what those 4 words are?
In,
Good. So you're just going to go 1, 2, 3 little lines under the I for in. Good. What else?
King Richard,
King. And then Richard. What else?
and England.
Good. 1, 2, 3. So that's how you mark capitals. 3 little short lines under the letters. Okay, excellent. And then Ian, what do we need at the end of the sentence?
A period
Good.
or an exclamation mark.
It's not really spoken with enthusiasm here. It's just a basic sentence. So I would agree with your first answer, which is the period. If it was something like, watch out, or I just won the race, or something like that, that's when you would use the exclamation mark. All right, notice we have everything checked on top. That means we're done fixing it. And later, not right now, but later at the bottom, you're going to rewrite this down at the bottom. And don't forget this space right here. This means you indent. So you indent when you start down here. So the first word would start about there. And remember to fix the capitals. And then later you'll rewrite the sentence at the bottom. I don't want to take time during class because you guys can copy that down later. So you finished page 3, which was day 1. Your homework is going to be page 4, which is day 2, right here. And then page 5, which is day 3. And then page 6, which is day 4. So notice the things you're finding on these pages are exactly like what we just practiced, okay? Ian, you have a question?
So if the
You froze. Oh, are you still talking?
sorry, if the the page in front of the notebook that you were writing on,
Yeah.
if it's in the front of the book, how are you supposed to use it with the rest of it?
You mean me? This plastic page right here?
Oh, it's just that. Oh,
Yeah, it's a piece of plastic. Sorry. Yeah, I just use it because I don't want to mess up my teacher book. So I just use it and then I can write on it and then I can erase it and my page stays clean. Does that make sense? But you can use a pencil or a pen, whatever you prefer. I'm okay with pen or pencil, and you're going to do the same thing in your book. But obviously you won't erase it. It'll stay. Okay. So give me a thumbs up if you understand what the homework is for grammar this week. Okay, good, Natalia. Good, Jason. Okay, good. Did you have also a question for me, Jason? Or something to
Yeah,
say?
yeah. Do you want us to do the homework by daily because it's like day 2, day 3?
Great question. I love that you're really thinking about these questions. It's up to you. If you want to do them all in one day, that's okay with me. They're just
Okay.
labeled that way in the book, but it's if you want to spread it out and do like a page tomorrow and then a page on Monday and Tuesday, you can do it that way too. Either whatever you want to do. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. As long as it's done. So this is a Thursday class. So your homework is due Wednesday by 5 p.m. Okay. So you have between now and Wednesday to finish your homework. So how you get it done and what order is, I mean, not order, but you know, if you do it all in one day or spread it out, that's up to you. Okay. We're done with grammar, so you can go ahead and close that up, set that aside. And now we're going to get out your binders. I know that a couple of you are waiting on your binders, so I'm going to help Jason get his set up. Plus, I'm recording this class, so when you get your binder, you can watch this part, like fast forward it to this part. And then you can get your binder set up too. So when you open your binder, and I know that you put all your papers inside there, which is good, Jason. You're going to go ahead and flip past this picture of this boy here and keep going. The introduction or the first page, keep going past all of the tables and table of contents, introduction. This is called scope and sequence, and you'll stop here. This is page 9. Oh, by the way, Ian, you do have your binder, huh? You said you did.
Yeah.
So, do you have the plastic did you take it off of the papers yet? For your binder, is it all in your binder right now?
I don't get the question.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's okay. Do you have these in your rings already? All these papers, are they in the rings?
No, they're still in this binder.
Let me see, are they, because you know, when you first get it in the mail, it's wrapped in plastic.
It is?
But when you open up your binder, do you see it inside the rings already? All these pages are in the rings?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's what I wanted to know. Okay, so go ahead and turn again. Let me show you again.
Wait, does it come like that?
Well, it comes wrapped in plastic, but your mom or your dad or somebody probably took the plastic off and put it in the binder for you. So it sounds like somebody did that for you, which is great. So,
Well, we got it like sort of used.
oh, then it's probably just already in there. That's fine.
Because we got it from like Heartland.
Okay, that's cool. Do you see this page though? Page 9?
Yeah.
Okay, turn to that page and you're going to take these pages out of your binder. So make sure your binder is laying flat on a table. You don't want to do it if your binder is not flat because the pages will fall out and it'll be a big mess. So lay your binder flat. Go ahead and open the rings and you're going to take out these pages. Page 9 looks like this. It says the blue ringed octopus, says week 1. Take that out. Then you'll see this page, page 11, the blue ringed octopus. Take this out. Then page 13, this is carnivorous plants. Take that page out. And one more, the yellow page, page 15. Go ahead and take this page out and then close your rings. Make sure you close them because I have a lot of students that forget that step and then they move their binder and stuff falls out. So it's a big pain to try to get it back in the right order. So when you see week 2, disgusting or delicacy, that's going to stay in your binder until next time. Now, there's one more thing I want you to do for Ian and Jason to organize your binder. So go to the very back, flip all these pages back here until you see these tabs. You see these tabs in the back? Okay. Yeah. I want you to take out the first tab that says source text. You're going to take that one out. When you take it out, make sure to close your rings again. So you should have this one out called source texts. You got that one, Ian?
Yeah.
Good. And then go back to disgusting or delicacy. This is week 2. This stays in your binder. It's page 17. Go back to that page. I'll give you a second to do that. And Natalia, when you get home, you can fix that. Okay. All right, good. Ian, are you with me, Jason? Put the tab on top of that. So open the rings right here, right on top of disgusting or delicacy, week 2. You're going to put your tab right there. This is the source text tab. Stick it on top of that. And then that's all we're going to do for today as far as organizing. So then you can close your rings, put this back on top, and then close your binder. And you can put your binder away. Okay, so we just have these out now that we already took out. Good, you guys did good with that. Sometimes that's hard to do on Zoom because I can't see what you're working on. So you did good. All right. So you should have these 4 pages together. This first page right here, it just says week 1, the blue ringed octopus. This is if you're doing this binder by yourself at home. But since you're taking, it's a lesson plan. So basically, since you're taking the class with me, we don't need this page, but I like to keep all those pages together so they stay organized. So you can just move this one aside for now because we don't need it at the moment. Okay, but we do need this one. This is where we're going to start. This is the first article in the binder. It's called the blue ringed octopus. And what we're going to do first is just read it, and then we're going to talk about it. So it says, like others of its order, the blue-ringed octopus has 8 arms, 2 eyes, and a beak-like mouth that can cut through a wetsuit. It feeds on shrimp, crabs, and small fish. It is comparable in size to a golf ball, and each arm measures about 2 inches from tip to body. The blue-ringed octopus can be found on the sandy ocean bottoms and in the coral reefs of Australia, New Guinea, Indonesia, the Philippines, and Japan. It is hard to spot as it uses camouflage for self-defense. To say stay away, it changes color from brown to bright yellow with blue rings. Its beautiful, unusual coloring makes it a must-find creature for many underwater photographers. While all octopuses are venomous, only the blue-ringed octopus is deadly to humans. At first, a bite might seem painless, but the powerful neurotoxic venom quickly causes numbness of the lips and tongue. This is followed by difficulty in breathing caused by paralysis, and then a shutdown of the senses. Death can occur in minutes, and there is no known antidote. One small blue-ringed octopus carries enough venom to kill 26 adult humans in minutes. Wow. Okay. I bet you didn't know that about this guy. I mean, he looks like a big octopus, but it said he was the size of a golf ball. That's the size you can fit in your hand. That's small. So, anyway, this guy is deadly. He can actually kill humans. So it's an interesting fact. This is a true factual article about the blue-ringed octopus. So now you know about that. Okay, we're going to do a keyword outline. Ian, did you have a question?
Yeah. So I thought we'd already read the blue-ringed octopus thing.
Did we read it last week? Maybe we did.
Well, we didn't read it last week, but I remember reading it before.
Oh, you read it. Okay, I was thinking you meant we read it last week. So,
And I remember it being a little longer.
oh, so it probably was a little longer article. That's okay. Some of them are longer. Go ahead and get out a lined piece of paper, just one piece of lined paper. And I'm going to teach you how to make an outline. While you're getting your paper out, you might have seen outlines before where we use Roman numerals and then Arabic numerals, which is regular numbers. That's what we're going to use to build this outline. So first, always, the very first step, always when you get a new piece of paper out, is to put your name right here. I want it on the left side by the holes at the top. So I drew a line, but I want you to put your name. So Ian, put your name first and last. Jason, Elfrink. Is it Elfrink or Elfrink? Elfrink. How do you say your last name, Jason?
Elfrink.
Elfrink. Okay. And then Natalia Martinez, put your name here. And then right underneath that, we're going to put the date. Today is September 14th, 2023. If you prefer writing your date with numbers like 9, 14, 23, I'm okay with that. I just like to write it out traditionally like that. Jason, did you have another question for me?
Yeah, do you want us to draw the line as well?
No, you don't need to draw the line. I just have a line to show that's where your name goes, but you don't have to draw the line. Good question. So basically, like I said, anytime you get out a lined piece of paper, start with your name and date right here on the left. That's how I like it in my class. And then go ahead and skip a line. And somewhere in the middle, I want you to write the name of that article, which is called The Blue Dash Ringed Octopus. So skip a line right here, put it somewhere in the middle, blue ringed octopus. It does not need to be perfect. And by the way, you can use pen or pencil on this, okay? Doesn't matter, whatever you prefer. Blue ringed octopus. I'm using pen so you can see it easier in the Zoom call. And then right underneath that, I want you to write key word outline. And I like to capitalize KWO because later I refer to it as a KWO. And that's what that means, keyword outline. All right, we already read about the blue-ringed octopus, and you might have noticed, and you're going to keep it right next to your notes we're working on here so that they're together. I'm going to have to put them on top of each other so you can see both. But notice this article has 2 paragraphs. And the style of the first paragraph does not require an indent. I just wanted to point that out to you because you'll notice in this binder, none of the first paragraphs are indented, but the second paragraph is. That's okay. It's a style. For my class, when you do your writing, I want you to indent all paragraphs. Okay, this is just the style of how they did it here. But anyway, there's 2 paragraphs. Now, I want you to write, so skip a line here, and on the side next to the red line, I want you to put a Roman numeral 1. Give me a thumbs up if you know your Roman numerals. If you don't know your Roman numerals, you can give me a thumbs down. Kinda. Okay, I see that. And then I see 2 thumbs up. Good. So Roman numerals you might see on a clock, an old-fashioned clock, or maybe like the Super Bowl. They always mark the, 54 Super Bowl or whatever with Roman numerals. You'll see it in math or maybe in history books. Okay. But this is a Roman numeral 1. And that just helps organize your outline. That's the very first part of your paragraph is Roman numeral 1. Under that, over a little bit, I want you to write 1 through 6. So right underneath this, like this. You're going to write 1 through 6. So you have a Roman numeral 1 that's against the red line, and then you move over a little bit and write 1 through 6 down with a period by each number. And then after that, skip another line and put Roman numeral 2. That's how you do Roman numeral 2. And then you're going to write 1 through 5. And I'll explain why in a second, but move over under that and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, I told you the blue-ringed octopus has 2 paragraphs. And lucky for you, I counted all the sentences, okay, in each paragraph. The first paragraph has 7 sentences. So this Roman numeral 1 represents the first sentence. And then you have 6 more because obviously 1 plus 6 equals 7. So there's 7 sentences total for the first paragraph. The second paragraph has 6 sentences. So this is Roman numeral 2 representing the first sentence. And then you have 5 more making 6 altogether. So each sentence is represented here by either a Roman numeral or a regular Arabic number. Okay, now that we have our outline all set, go back to your article about the blue-ringed octopus. When we make this outline, there's a couple of rules that we have to follow. One rule is you can only pick 3 key words. And we're going to talk about what a keyword is in just a second. But in your outline, we're going to make a list of 3 words only. Now, when you make a list, you use commas in between. But there's another part of this outline rule because you can use numbers, symbols, and abbreviations for free, meaning you don't have to count those. Okay. So when I look at the first sentence, remember I told you this Roman numeral 1 represents the first sentence. A key word is an important word to the sentence. So words, for instance, like of or the, those are not keywords, right? Those are just filler words to make the sentence make sense. I'm talking about words that are necessary for you to understand the sentence, okay? So they're the main words of the sentence. Those are the key words. So here it says, like others of its order, the blue-ringed octopus has 8 arms, 2 eyes, and a beak-like mouth that can cut through a wetsuit. This is where it gets tricky because, there's a lot of words in that sentence, way more than 3. But you have to decide which 3 are the most important in the sentence. So I'm going to walk you through this for a couple of examples, and then you'll have a chance to try to find your own keywords too. Okay. If you have any questions along the way, make sure to raise your hand or, just let me know, but I'm going to keep going here. I know that the blue-ringed octopus is important because that's what we're talking about, but I don't want to use that in my outline and waste those words because I remember I can only have 3, and I know that the whole article is about the blue-ringed octopus. So there's no need to put it in my outline because I know it's all about that, okay? So I'm not going to put that, but then I see 8 arms. Okay, that's important. It's talking about the body, 2 eyes, and a beak-like mouth that can cut through a wetsuit. But you know what? I already know octopus already has 8 legs, right? Or 8 arms, they're called. I already know that. Octa is 8. So I know an octopus has 8 arms. I already know an octopus has 2 eyes. So this is where I didn't know. A beak-like mouth. Now that would be important to remember what that sentence was. So for number 1, that Roman numeral 1 for the first sentence, I'm going to start by putting beak dash like. So go ahead and write that in your outline here. Notice it has a hyphen. So that means we're going to count it as 1 word. So we still have 2 more to go. I'm going to put a comma after that, beak like. So we can count that as 1 because it's got a hyphen. That's okay. We can count that as 1. So it's got beak like, and I know a beak is on a mouth. So I'm not going to write the word mouth because I know that means its mouth. But the really interesting part about this sentence is that it can cut through a wetsuit. Now, if you don't know, a wetsuit is what surfers wear because it's really cold in the ocean, especially in California. And so the wetsuit keeps them a little warmer, and it's thick and it's flexible, but it's really thick. So for this little tiny thing, remember, it fits in your hand, the size of a golf ball. If it can cut through your wetsuit, that's pretty powerful. So I'm going to put the word cut. That's a U, by the way. Didn't come out very good, but that's U. Cut, and then wetsuit. So I've got beak-like, that's cut, and wetsuit. And I put commas between. I got 3 words. I'm done with that Roman numeral 1. That's representing the first sentence. Now, remember, you don't have to remember that it has 8 arms and 2 eyes. The point of this outline is to condense it. It's tricky. It takes practice. You have a lot of information. You're going to just pick, what do you think is the most important? And that's how we came up with beak-like and then cut wetsuit to help us remember about this creature. Now, Arabic number 1, this is the regular number 1 right here. This one is the second sentence. It starts right here. It feeds on shrimp, crabs, and small fish. Shrimp, crabs, and small fish. So remember, only 3 words. I think we need the word feeds because it's telling us what it eats, right? And that's an important fact to remember. So I'm going to put feeds. And then I'm going to put a comma. And I'm going to put shrimp and crabs. And then I'm going to draw a little fish symbol. I'll show you that in a second. So I'm going to put shrimp, comma, crabs, comma, and then I kind of draw it like this. It's really simple. Kind of looks like the Christian fish symbol, if you've ever seen that one before. I just kind of do like a sideways loop and then a flat part for the fin. But however you want to draw your fish, it's a symbol. It's a fish symbol. So we have feeds, shrimp, crabs, fish. Remember, we can use symbols for free. We don't have to count those. So that's an easy one. That's a little symbol we can use. Okay, we're going to do one more, and then we're going to work on this outline again next week. So we're just going to keep practicing so you get the idea. So this next one, do I have any volunteers to read this sentence that starts with it in the article? Does anybody feel like reading that today? Okay. Do you want to, Jason? You don't have to, but if you want to, you can. Go ahead.
It is comparable in size to a golf ball, and each arm measures about 2 inches from tip to body.
Nice. Good job. So we're going to have to really work on this one. There's a lot of information that's good that we need to remember. But remember, only 3 words we can pick. So Ian, looking at that sentence there, do you see any words that you think is a key word to remember that? You see any key words in there, Ian? No? Okay, that's okay. I'll help you with this one. You'll get used to this. It gets easier. But I'm looking at it and I see that it's like comparable
to the size of a golf ball.
Yeah, exactly. That is important. But we can only use 3 words and that's already too many. So I'm going to put the word golf. That tells me the size. You know what a golf ball. Maybe you draw a picture of a ball. Is that what you were thinking, Ian?
Yeah.
Golf ball. Okay, so we only used 1 word for that. Do golf and then a little ball, which is almost
maybe just draw a golf ball.
Well, yeah, but it's how do you know the difference between that and like a bouncy ball or something? I mean, anyway, golf is good to keep on there. That tells us the size. It's small, super small.
You draw one of the things.
Well, for this, I think we need golf. So that's okay. We can put golf. And then I think it's really important here that the arms measures 2 inches. That's not very big. That's about like the size of your pinky finger, right? That's about 2 inches. So do you know how to write inches in a symbol? Yeah, Natalia says yes. It looks like, so let's do the number 2, and then inches is like 2 little lines like that. You've probably seen that before. And guess what? We got a number and a symbol. We don't have to count that either. So the only word we've used so far is golf. So you get a little creative as you're writing these outlines using symbols like that. And it's 2 inches from tip to body. So what I'm going to do now is put a comma and put tip, arrow, body. There, I've got golf, tip, body as my 3 words, but I've got some symbols in between. Golf ball, 2 inches, tip to body. We'll just have to remember that the arms are 2 inches long. So we got golf ball, 2 inches, tip, and then an arrow to body. Okay, good job, you guys. We're going to stop there for today because we're out of time. But what I want you to do is put all of these papers together that we just took out of your binder. This. Put them in a stack. Like this with your outline on top and you got all the other pages underneath it.
Can we put them back in our binder?
You're only going to put them in the pocket, the front pocket of your binder. You don't have to put them in the rings yet because we're going to come back to this. We're going to come back to this later. So I just want you to stick it right here in that front pocket like that. And then next week, when we come to class, you'll just get out this whole stack right here. Okay, in the front pocket, and then you can close your binder, keep everything together. So let me review one more time your homework because you only have grammar this time because I want to take my time on this first lesson in this book. So let me remind you the grammar is pages 4, 5, and 6, days 2, 3, and 4 in there. You're going to work on that and then take a picture or scan it and then upload it to your Google Classroom. That's all you have for homework this week. It's pretty easy. You guys have any questions about anything right now? About homework? Or I see, Jason, I see your hand up there.
Did you still want us to rewrite the sentence page 3?
Yes, I still want you to rewrite the sentence on page 3. So you're right. You'll turn in pages 3, 4, 5, 6. Good question.
Again.
Yeah, thank you. Ian.
Do you want us to finish the blue ringed octopus too?
No, I do not. You're just going to leave that till next week. Okay.
So you want us to do 4, 5, and 6?
Yes, but Jason just pointed out that you still have to write on page 3 of your grammar book. So let's turn that in too. So you should turn in pages 3, 4, 5, and 6. Does that make sense? Okay. So I can
lesson 3, 4, 5, and 6?
page.
Okay.
Yeah. Page 3, 4, 5, 6. Got it? And if you need help on how to turn that in, let me know because it's on Google Classroom. So you have to be able to turn it in on Google Classroom. So if you need help with that, let me know. Okay. Okie dokie. That's it for today. So if you don't have any more questions, I'll see you next week. Bye. Bye, Natalia.
Bye.
Bye, Ian. Bye, Jason.
Bye.
You can click leave at the bottom there. Bye, Ian. Go ahead and click leave. I have another student coming in.
I know, sorry.